Hello and happy Wednesday. Today on the Busy Bride podcast, I'm coming to you solo to talk all about rain, the thing that makes you an amateur meteorologist when you plan an outdoor wedding. I want to go over a few ways that we can still get beautiful photos if it rains on your wedding day in this episode. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Hello and welcome to the Busy Bride podcast. I'm your host, Gabriella Marie, and I created this podcast to help you research vendors and learn valuable advice as you plan the most special and true to you wedding day of your dreams. Let's get started. So outdoor weddings are becoming increasingly popular, and for good reason. They are gorgeous. I personally want an outdoor wedding one day whenever I get married, but they're also a gamble because, the weather is very unpredictable. I'm actually recording this episode in November, and the high today is 77 freaking degrees. So, bonkers. Anyway, unpredictable weather. It is always, always, always a good idea to have backup plans if your wedding day happens to be rainy because of that unpredictability. And you should only book your outdoor wedding venue if you are okay with getting married in their indoor backup plan space because truly anything can happen. So that's a really big factor in choosing your venue. So that's a whole other topic, but I just wanted to put that out there. But even if you have plenty of indoor spaces, you love the indoor space, everything's taken care of with keeping guests out of the rain and everything like that. What about the photos? You know what I mean? I don't worry about the photos, but you might be. And I'm here to dispel those worries. Because I'm going to talk about 3 ways that we can get really, really gorgeous portraits on your wedding day if it rains. I'm going to walk you through them, and there's probably more than this, but these are the top 3 that came to mind. And I just ask, please don't roll your eyes with the first one. But the first option is indoor photos. And hear me out here. So many wedding venues have gorgeous indoor spaces that are underutilized on a typical wedding day because of how beautiful their outdoor spaces are. So, rainy days give these indoor spaces their time to shine. Give me a window, a grand staircase, a vintage couch, a bookcase. There are so many options for cool portraits indoors. And the cool thing about indoor photos is that you can really control the vibe, if that makes sense. With outdoor photos, if it's cloudy, you're going to have cloudy photos. If it's sunny, you're going to have the sunny photos. But indoor, you can really you can control the vibe. You can use soft window light to go super cozy and intimate, or you can kind of go the moody and romantic vibe with the window light. You can also go the direct flash route, get some paparazzi style romantic, editorial photos, wild and fun. Or if you're more into getting the great lighting, epic portrait picture that you print out real big and you hang up in your home, and that's the portrait. We can use off-camera flash to get the perfect lighting to get the moment and the shot that you're dreaming of. So many options here. And I don't want you to discount how versatile and how cool indoor wedding portraits can be. And I mean, wedding venues these days are just so, so, so pretty. So, yes, I really want to hammer that point home that indoor photos are not a bad option by any means. They can be amazing. Okay. So, the second way to get amazing portraits in the rain is by using clear bubble umbrellas. I always carry 2 of these with me to every wedding, to every engagement session, just in case, and I've used them quite a few times. These umbrellas, I must say, they're best suited for more of a light rain or a drizzle and not necessarily a downpour. Although I have used them before in an absolute downpour. Shout out John and Molly for being troopers and somehow still being insanely adorable in a crazy deluge. Deluge? I don't know. But they got engaged in the absolute I mean, it was pouring. Like, it was coming down really hard. They're getting married soon, so I'm excited for that. But anyway, there's a lot we can do with umbrellas, especially with the clear bubble umbrellas. And the reason I say clear bubble umbrellas is because the bubble shape of them covers your hair, which is really nice. And then because they're clear, you can see through them. So from like far away landscape photos, I can see through them to see your faces, which is great. But then also close up, we can kind of play with that and get kind of moody with like a little bit of a blur looking through the umbrellas. I can kind of get inside of them and go wide and still have the light coming in from all angles and it's not super shaded on your face. So that's why the clear aspect and the bubble aspect are why I like specify those two things. But yeah, there's a lot we can do. We can have you both holding umbrellas, like holding hands, walking around. We can have you like sharing an umbrella, which is really cute. You can get really cozy. This is a cool ring shot as well to like have both your hands on the umbrella and like show off the wedding bands. And then also, if you wanted to get more clear bubble umbrellas for like the whole wedding party, we can do like wedding party photos outside in the rain with umbrellas. There's so many options here. And I also don't care about being outside in the rain. I will literally do anything on your wedding day to get photos for you. I have my trusty Patagonia rain jacket. I have my super fancy schmancy rain cover for my camera back from my college photojournalism days when I would photograph football games. And it was like I would be outside pouring in the pouring rain for like 4 hours plus, and I needed to keep my gear dry and working. So those things, I trust those covers. They've got me through many hours of football games, and they can get me through many hours of wedding portraits as well. So I can be outside for as long as needed to get you the best wedding photos possible. So that's a plug for those clear bubble umbrellas. I love them. They're great. You can use them for just you, for your wedding party, etc. And speaking of being outside in the rain for as long as possible, that is my last option for you guys to actually just go out in the rain and embrace it. And this one is tricky because obviously you don't want to be soaking wet for hours at your wedding. This is not like, oh, let's do your first look in the rain before the like, no. we're not doing that. So this option is like has a lot of caveats to it. I think it works best for spring and summer weddings because the sun sets super late in the day, and that gives us like a lot of daylight and time to work with. If it's a fall wedding, then there's not as much time for that because the sun is setting most likely right around the time reception starts and you still have all your formalities to do at that time. So don't want to be soaking wet for all your reception formalities. No, thank you. But if it's towards the end of the night, formalities are over, you already got some dancing in, and say like the photographer, like I'm about to leave soon, why not just like run out in the rain, dance a little bit, do the romantic notebook kiss? Like the notebook is the notebook for a reason. The romantic kiss in the pouring rain is iconic because they didn't care about anything else except each other and their love for each other in that moment. And their kiss is like, I love it. I'm romantic if you can't tell. So like as long as you've gotten all your formalities done, you've gotten all the portraits you wanted, and everything looked perfect, like your hair was perfect, makeup was perfect, dress was great, like as long as all of those photos were taken, the photos are the professional photos that you paid all the money for your hair and makeup and your dress and everything, like that's all done, why not end the night just go like dancing in the rain? I would love to do that. I'm definitely like it's just not for everyone. Absolutely not for everyone. But it is for some people. It would be so much fun to have that memory on your wedding day and to tell your kids one day, like, yeah, like it rained on our wedding day, but we ended the night going out and dancing in the rain, and that's what you should do in life, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? I'm getting a little woo-woo here. But yeah, it could be a fun option. So don't discount that either, because having that portrait of you guys, like you could do like a lift kiss, like a super romantic, like running in the rain, kissing, just having the best time ever. Could be a really, really, really cool photo to have and memory to have. So definitely think about that. And while we're on the topic of not so ideal weather on your wedding day, I actually wanted to share something cool that I'm starting to build into my wedding packages. It's not like an add on or anything, it's just like included. And it's called a life happens guarantee. So, if something outside of your control prevents you from getting the gorgeous outdoor photos that you dreamed of when planning your wedding, like crazy storms or health emergencies or anything along those lines, something that life just literally throws at you right before your wedding, I will offer you a complimentary 1 hour portrait session within 6 months of your wedding in, like, I don't know, 30 miles of Philly, like not super far away. But a day where you and your partner can get all dressed up in your wedding attire in a beautiful location at the best time of day for photos. So you don't have to miss out on the stunning portraits that you were hoping for and expecting, which means this is, I think, the best part. You'll have less stress about the weather on your wedding day because you know that if the weather like doesn't cooperate at all, you still get amazing portraits. And that's always a goal of mine as your photographer to minimize as much stress as possible. And you get to wear your wedding outfits again, which is so much fun. And I feel like you never really get to do that. So that's also a cool plus too. And I'm using this life happens guarantee already. One of my brides recently broke her ankle like a month before the wedding, which is just so unfortunate. I felt so bad for her. She was in a boot and a little scooter all day, but it was the most fun day. Like, everybody had the best time ever. She was still bopping around on the dance floor, having the time of her life, and we still had amazing portraits. The sun was doing its thing. We got some great golden hour portraits. The couple just absolutely crushed their portrait session. So we still got some amazing photos from their day, but they were really hoping for full body portraits. Like, that was even before the broken ankle situation, one of their like big photos, like key photos that they wanted was like a solid full body portrait of them too. So we are going to do a free 1 hour session in a couple months when she's all healed. They're going to get all dressed up in their wedding attire again. We're going to go somewhere beautiful. I actually talked to the venue, and the venue was like, if the date works for us, like we might be able to open up the venue for you guys to do photos. So that would be so cool. So yeah, like we get to do wedding photos for them without a boot, without a scooter. And I'm so excited that I get to do that for them and that we get to get more portraits done, which is amazing. Because oftentimes on wedding days, portrait time, even if you have a lot of it, it's still limited or it's still constrained by things happening around it. If you do a first look, then we'll have portraits done earlier in the day, but then you gotta also do family photos and wedding photo photos, and you want to enjoy a cocktail hour, and you gotta do the reception. Like, there's so much going on. So this will allow us to just kind of like take a deep breath and really take our time with portraits, which I am so excited for. So that's the life happens guarantee, and that's like a cool thing that I'm hoping will save a lot of stress and make people real happy. So I also wanted to add on one more positive note about the rain, because I'm trying to be real positive here. And you know how there's this saying that rain is good luck on your wedding day? There's actually a reason for that, and it's not just like hearsay. And it's really it's really cute reason too. So when you get married, the saying goes that you quote unquote tie the knot. And when a knot is tied real tight, it's pretty hard to undo. But when that knot gets wet, it's like nearly impossible to pry apart. So that's why rain is considered good luck on your wedding day, because it's like a solid union. So I thought that was cute and I wanted to share it with you because it's always good to have in mind uh, the reason behind the saying instead of just rolling your eyes when people say it. So I hope you learned something from this episode. I hope you feel better about your outdoor wedding if you're planning an outdoor wedding. There are always ways to get beautiful portraits on your wedding day. Just make sure you hire a photographer that you trust to make it happen, regardless of the circumstances. That is huge. If you have a friend getting married soon, especially if your friend is planning an outdoor wedding, I would love if you would share this episode with them. Spread the goodness, minimize the stress. There are ways around the rain. So, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate your time. Now go hug your person, and I will see you next Wednesday.